Hey, what's up, gamers? It's Dom here back once again. We're talking TEW9. Going through some of the developer journal, some of the new additions, new features here for the game. Pretty excited. We have the game pretty much, I think, around the next week, maybe like the week and a half. We'll actually get our hands, yeah, July 27th for the first look at the beta, and I'm pretty excited. If I remember correctly, during the beta you get to play the first like month or two of it, and then of course the full release is a week later, so it's very fastly approaching us. I've been away last couple days seeing the brother in town, but I've been following up with the dev journal, and I think now, yeah, let's go through and make a video and talking about it. And some of the people haven't been following probably daily, or I just want a quick short recap of things here. So let's do that here for you. So the first post here is going over the frequently asked questions. What's going to make this different? How is it the same? To just wrap this up here, TEW9 is going to be an extension of TEW 2020, just like TEW 16 was an extension of TEW 13. Not a bad thing. I think the only part that could get this to be a bad thing is that it's built on the same old coding language, meaning that the UI is going to be limited, the features, probably how the game runs, stuff like that will limit it there. Of course, you speak about like the Mac versions, but anybody can run this game essentially. So like the minimum requirements to run this game, if you got a crap book, it's probably going to still be able to run TEW. You don't have to worry there. Then we go into the booking team's creative energy. We talked a bit about this in my previous video when we first discussed the game coming out. This is the first day of the dev journal. So basically you can go and assemble a team of people, and they can give you now what's known as creative energy points. You can bounce back ideas from your workers, and it's going to be pretty cool. I like the idea there, as I mentioned, with like WCW, like how that could be fully simulated, or like a modern day AEW where you're taking ideas from like a Christopher Daniels, the Bucks. If it's early on, you have Cody, different people who are like in your ear giving you ideas that's going to sway your opinion on how you want to book some things. I'm really curious in this aspect what the creative energy is going to look like, how it's going to play into the game. The only thing I worry about with TEW9 is like the slowness of booking. If it's going to make it like even slower to book, hopefully that's not the case, is that you can still go in and book as fast as you want or as slow as you want. I don't want a 30-minute show to then take like an hour to book. I think if it's very quick, like throwaway show, go in there. Of course, we'll still have like the auto booker stuff like that. But it's this show, I just want to have some guys go and get some experience in. I hope that doesn't slow that down. Essentially, we go into extra stuff about product narratives, locking child production values. I really love here for the gift packs, so having those backdrops for stables, alliances, brand logos. That's awesome. I freaking love that, personally. So not just having stuff for your stables, and your brands also, but now alliances. That's pretty cool. So all right, we have the inner circle, which previously the game would just go in and have your locker room leaders, but now it's been expanded on. You can actually assign them. You can have your chief enforcers, head of talent relations, morale officers, senior road agents, senior referees, heads men's trainer, heads women's trainer, travel organizer, and stooge, which is a secret role that can tell you about what's going on backstage. So I won't go super in depth talking about this because we have a lot to go over, but the inner circle portion of this I think will be pretty fun. Ties in also with your booking committee, so you can have even more control behind the scenes of your locker room, and definitely like picking individual people out, like your Undertakers, your Aubrey Edwards, your Jim Ross, people who you're going to put in like different positions here. I think this would be pretty cool. We have the elimination order for Rumbles. That's pretty cool. If you like, writing out the whole thing, now it can actually do that for you. You don't have to manually write that out. It'll just go via what you selected. Increase naming sizes. It's always a plus there. We have the generic venue capacity. Let me just back just a little bit there. We have enhanced promises. Team bonding makes sense. As they're teaming up, they should be more likely to be friends or clashing with each other. Independent show frequencies, vocal fans based on the company size has been toned down a bit. The owner Booker narrative addition, the extended bankruptcy grace period here, which is nice. I personally never ran into like that problem there, but now having like a 3-year grace period from the founding sounds pretty good. So geotags, I don't have too much of like an opinion on. I guess we'll have to see how really it like plays essentially, but I guess this is going to be more for like the locations and then calculating based on your company size how you're going to be able to pick different like venues, and it fluctuates with the size. If you're small, you're insignificant, you're not going to be able to book an arena essentially. But we'll have to see how this one goes here. We have the real height and weight. I know people are going to be like a huge fan of that. Just like this game will be like ultra like simulation at that point. Same with the adjustable weight divisions. Tone down the politics of people leaving for political adventures. The training facility weights. You can set the minimum maximum there. The expanded belt descriptions, always a plus, and Cornell-verse pictures here. So there's talks a bit about the jump there of what they're using for the Cornell-verse. Now we have a real world calendar. This is one of the bigger updates, in my opinion, going in saying that, hey, we're not doing that day 1, week 1, day 4, week 3, stuff like that. It is going to be July 4th, July 9th, August 17th, and that's going to go into the scheduling system. We now have stuff for bi-weekly events, avoiding holidays. I think that's pretty cool. So, if you're going to be running a show, but it's going to be on July 4th or Christmas, it's like, don't worry about that show. Do it the day before, do it the day after. That's pretty cool. And it looks like there'll be other holidays, not just American holidays there. So, pretty cool to see how that'll tie in there. I wonder if it'll be like region specific, so if you're in like Japan or India, going alongside like those holidays there. Multi-day events will be very helpful for like your WrestleManias, your oh man, your is it Triple Mania? Are they multi-day events? I'm pretty sure now. Your SummerSlam's gonna be multi-day event now. Wrestle Kingdom's multi-days. So having stuff like that, appear. You don't have to make like individual events. You can just be like, this will be, for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's pretty cool there. We have On This Day in History, which is going to talk about, significant events like birthdays, deaths, legendary matches. You can actually go in and create the historical event there as the mod maker. So I think that stuff is like pretty unique, honestly. Other TV dates, so other stuff going on with the other, TV schedules, venue listing, mass editing dates, anniversary reminders. You can now pressure people to improve their cardio. You can import lineages, import move sets, and random starting absence time. So some better stuff on the back end side for mod makers. Day 5, I love this one. This is a pretty cool one. Getting to read, it's the company awards. So you have your like Hall of Fames for the companies, but now that's been expanded upon there. So you can have even more awards for your companies. And I think that's awesome. That's a pretty good inclusion there. If there's like very specific awards for a company, I think of like WWE, like the Slammies personally, stuff like that. So we have title records, taking advantage of the new calendar system. Every town has a title records button, which gives a host of interesting stats here. Think of like wins and losses actually matter, and like statistics for like longest title reigns and the most defenses, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Touring contracts comes back. That's yes, like I really like that one. Global skill comparison, and that's like, are you in the top 5% wrestlers? I like that one. Hiatus warnings, that's pretty good, so they don't just like, I'm out of here, like they're saying like, hey, I'm gonna leave soon, so I'm going hiatus. Hopefully you can be able to talk them out of that too. owner specialisms and booker specialism. So how they specialize in different styles of wrestling, narrative title belt statuses, cutting the child company loose so it doesn't just straight up die. I think that's kind of fun, honestly, to go in and then be like, okay, I'm Tony Khan. Yeah, let's just let go of ROH. Or like in a weird scenario, like you're WWE and you make ECW its own company again, and you have play it for a little bit, but you're like, eh, here you go. You can. We're done with it. We have no association to it as a child company anymore, or cut off NXT. So I think those are very like interesting events that could transpire. I actually want to know, if there's an event that could happen with the AI doing that. So customizable opening website, the day one opening check there, being able to change that up. Romantic check. So, and then takes us into the weekend, so knows what's going down. Angle overhaul. So basically, this like the angle system had a full-on overhaul, which I think is similar to like TEW 2020 when we got the gimmick overhaul, and then uh, like the perception system, I think it's called, where like we don't have like main eventers, upper mid carders, like the slot on the position on the card that you would assign for the wrestler. It's like how are they viewed in your company. So the angle overhaul, is probably gonna be a big one here for TW9. There's no like preset angles, and I hope that with this they still have like get inspiration from, because I know that's a thing with the gimmicks. So hopefully they're still that with the preset angles, where you can get inspiration for the angle overhaul for this new system here. And I hope this system allows you to like book quicker. I personally use more like freestyle angles when I book anyways, but I know some people book quicker with presets, some people book quicker with freestyle. So I hope this might be the better way of combining the two. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how this one goes here. I know this is one that may be a little divisive for some people if it isn't done properly. So, but as someone who's done freestyle angles, I don't think it would impact me as much. But as someone who does more like the preset stuff, I'm very curious how it'll go. We have external editing here, which is more just for the mod makers, how that's going to go and help them out there. This will be pretty helpful here when it comes to going in, and if you do a lot of stuff outside of the game when you're editing, it sounds like mass editing, user defined title names. We get the single use injuries. So like I think I mentioned it here. Appendicitis, where you can only get that once, removing your appendix. You're not going to constantly get your appendix removed left and right. Older relative mentors, new owner goals, owner goal specifics, canvas opinions, which is like you ask the locker room, like, hey, we're gonna bring in this guy, and then Bill Goldberg gets up and he's like, hell no, don't bring me Bret Hart. So like that's gonna be useful to see like, oh, okay, the locker room might hate that actually. Sex scandals have been reworked here. I'm curious, like instead of like where it says, says it's a generic sex scandal and cover a wide variety of real world situations, no longer be limited to a small range of possible years. I wonder what in the world that's like. So, automated merchandise cut. When editing a contract, automatic value can be given to the merchandise cut section. It means the game will calculate appropriate value at the start of the game. So, all right, day 7. This is a big one here. So, this is the enhanced eras. So, based on the era, is going to be changing the viewership for TV, pay-per-view, streaming, as all that's going to be more important. TV back in the 90s versus streaming nowadays. That's going to give you a lot more control over there. You go over to the specific contracts where you can actually completely disable written contracts. That's awesome for like simulating the territory era. New battle royales, so you can do for 10 to 60 people. That's awesome here. Automatic renegotiations. And yeah, I think this is basically like you're just not stuck with a guy who retires, and then you're stuck with like paying him a ton of money if he's only going to be a color commentator after that, or road agent. Um, so that's awesome having that one. Historical rosters and champions, going and setting up the alumni for the database, wrestling school affiliation, which companies are affiliated with the wrestling schools, move descriptions, and the team and client relationships. So I felt like day 7 was pretty good banger in my opinion. Seeing like what's going on with the eras. Day 8, we can request a call up. So if you're booking the child company, you're in NXT, and you're like, dude, just bring up Ethan Page, get him up to the main roster already. Just throw him up here. Someone who's been in development for a long time, you can contact them and say, hey, what do you think of bringing him up? I like that one. That's a pretty fun one if you're booking the child companies here. The ability to import the job history, increase the diversity here, the men and the women's division. We have the gender competition here, expanded the awards. So now there's overall and company specific versions here. We have the gender specific hiring rules, same sex marriages, so only in certain regions or in like a certain date period here. This one hopefully can be changed like based on the database, because I know like if you're doing like War of the Immortals, if you're doing like a fantasy one, so I think that one might mess up like those types of like databases. The gender and divisional searches here, road agents experience, and more precise end dates. Day 9, we have more realistic avatars. This is a big one. This is a pretty big banger here, and this is where I think this video would, it's going to be pretty big, and I did wait a bit for these dev journals here because there's some that I really want to go more into a discussion about versus others. And the realistic avatars is a big one because now that means our avatars are mortal. They can die now, but it also means that you can change them. So you can go from your Vince McMahon to your Stephanie McMahon, jump across here, do Shane McMahon. Boom, he's starting to get old. You can play as like his son Declan or whatever, and then play as his son's son, and you just keep going generationally down the chain or something. And it's crazy. But not only that, but your avatars, not only do they die and they can retire, they have their own wealth here. So, if your user avatar has a wealth rating of richer greater, they automatically be able to donate some of their personal funds when founding a new company. Previously, this was a feature that could only be generated by the AI characters, and just a little bit more towards, the real world here. I think what's pretty cool is that your avatar character, like, it's more of you essentially, and that's going to be bouncing off of your relationships with the wrestlers, well, just everyone essentially in the world. And so that really determines who's going to work with you, who's not, the long-term effects of that, and I know some people might be like 50-50, like, I don't really want my avatar character to die, or like in the aspect, like I was saying, of like those databases where you kind of want to have everyone be immortal. I think maybe those should be some options that should be added in there too. Like maybe like game world specific options like that maybe should be expanded on here. But we haven't like gotten to anything like that so far in the dev journal. But I think that's something that should definitely be looked at there. We have the gimmick memory. When a worker leaves a company, they will remember that gimmick. So, like, if Stardust leaves and then comes back to Cody Rhodes, they're like, hold on, you were Stardust. So, the crowd heat display. So, the crowd heat level is now shown on the screen in the show segment, and it shows, like, how it's going to alter over time. So, if you're going to start really hot and then dip and up. I like that. I really like that one a lot. The wrestling and the crowd rating. So like, what does the crowd think about the match versus what is like the overall wrestling, rating of the match? These people have a great match, but the crowd kind of hated it. But it'll be a more memorable match long term there down the road. So those are pretty cool there. Editing during booking phase. That's crazy. I didn't even think that would be a thing ever. Power 500 placeholders and alternatives. You can now set placeholder text. Big thumbs up there. Company editor subscreens. So, you have subscreens for altering the events, title belts, tag teams, all that here. So just much quicker on the editor side. Day 10. Love this one. Media scrum. I don't need to say anymore. Y'all know what's going to happen here. we're gonna go out there. It's gonna be like WCW 2000 and CM Punk had a baby. It is gonna be just Vince Russo's out there and CM Punk's out there together, and they're just trashing on everybody during their media scrums. Like it's just gonna be like Hogan and Hangman. You guys better watch out for this one. So I love that. Just these fun little like extra thing here to see. There's 270 possible questions here that really pops out. So hopefully there's even more answers. Hopefully be able to actually hopefully you can like write in your answers too for people who do like diaries and journals and all that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So we have attendance levels here. They are kind of slashed, so they're not like super crazy. Owner booker relationships are very important. So it determines like keeping you around. Or the toggle graduation here for the AI generated rookies. Company HQ, love this one. So being able to have like a physical HQ and a physical Hall of Fame, I like also, even though TW at its core like really focus on like the booking aspect, having these options like expand out if you are the owner, not just the head booker, so you can like get into like the financial aspect of this of like, okay, you know as a company, we have headquarters. This allows us to do like these more options over here. Having a physical Hall of Fame means that our Hall of Fame, our people get more prestigious. Gives more benefits there and more influence here. It says so. I think that those aspects are pretty cool to see, and I really hope they expand even more stuff like that. Developmental reports pretty cool, so we can gauge if someone's being ready to call up. New attributes, can never go wrong with that. A database summary will be good for more of the database makers. I'm really glad that they're getting some love here, because I know that TW 2020, I feel like the modding scene wasn't like, it took a while to really get off the feet here, and I think like hitting the ground running with TW9, helping them out as much as possible is going to be a big one. Broadcaster coverage comparisons. Yep. Day 11. So relationships. So it's not just a single like, hey, you are in my family, I love you forever. Like it's like, no, you're my family, but I hate you. Also, maybe there's like something weird romantic that might have happened. Also, you were like my mentor. Like so, there's just like a whole slew of like a relationship, like Game of Thrones thing going on there somehow. So the relationship system, huge overhaul. That's a massive plus. Company tribute shows, so like your ECW, WCW tribute shows, that's pretty cool. Having the cash talent trades came back, and I love that. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, especially for like multiplayer stuff. Nothing's been mentioned about multiplayer so far, I should say that. So hopefully that's mentioned here also. You have owners and head bookers. Talks more about them being upgraded, calling up someone and using their alter egos. Having an annual backup for your save, that's always a plus. AI graduate hirings, just increasing, how they're churned out. Mass gimmick names. We have reworking the death matches, so it's not just like instantly down the drain. Improve the rookie generation so they're not useless. So day 12 AI backstage. So the AI companies have backstage stuff going on. Hopefully that doesn't slow down the game, but I really like that. We have some renaming for Scandinavia, European changes, India changes, auto booking saying no title matches, seasonal weather effects. So like if you go to a certain area and it's like it's on fire because it's in California, some people aren't able to show up. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. I'm curious how that works out. Like, are you locked to that location the second you pick it, and then it tells you like, hey, these people can't show up? I'm really curious. Like, or you're just like, I'm gonna go to a different one. I'm curious how that'll go here on that. Autofill the tag team finishers, moveset narrative, corrupt pitcher check, and the female retirement age has been bumped. To thank God, I was playing TW here this morning, and like, who was I think Asuka retired at like 38, just like, and then I think like a couple weeks later, Bailey retired at like 41, and just like people are dropping like flies. So more enhanced narratives here. So when they take place, The effects, so if it can change, you know, when WWE goes to WWF goes to WWE. I like that, how it changes the logos, belts. This is a huge one here for historical databases. I really hope there's mods that take advantage of this. Ultra Super Spillover. We have the production product additions and changes. So even more products that are available here. Optional oversaturation, looser loyalty. You can have charitable donations here to get some morale bonuses and benefits, and free picture search, so you can see which pictures are free and no one's been used. I feel like I missed a day here. Let me check this real quick. No, I got everything. I got everything. I was like, thought I missed a day, but no, we got everything knocked out here all the way through day 13, and we still got a good bit of dev journals left to go. So we'll recap, probably again next week, right before the beta drops. I will be covering that. We'll be playing that, hopefully with the friendo Bendos. Might do some multiplayer stuff. We'll see where it goes there. I definitely, with like limited time and adulting, all that stuff now versus before, where I was streaming like 25 hours straight and stuff like that for TEW, like 2016, 2020, like back in the day. More limited on time, so I definitely want to sink my teeth into like one singular save and give y'all as much as possible there. So, and that is confirmed. I will be playing TEW IX for y'all. So how could I not, honestly? So it's a game that I've been playing for a very long time. If you've gone back on the channel and seen when I was a wee younger lad, and now at 26 and TEW IX, Adam Ryland. I don't think he's ever changed his profile picture on this site ever. So, but I like to imagine maybe he's got like a big old Bo Dallas beard or something. So, tell me what you guys think about the Dev Journal so far. Some stuff I want to see still are expansions towards like multiplayer, more like interactions, talking to your wrestler and influencing them there that way. That's really it so far on the top of my mind for stuff I'd like to see, because we're not going to get like the big ones I'd want, like the UI change, um, the engine change there. So, in terms of building upon this, I think so far it looks good. So, I know actually some people did mention they would like the main event, upper mid cars to come back. I agree on that one too. Even if that was just like a drop down thing or like a morale thing, I think that would be cool too. Because me personally, booking from like the perception system, it still throws me off to this day. So, but other than that, yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Take care, gamers. Peace.